thank some people that helped me do what I do. So if I go back to when I coached Greg's brother, Andre's son Chris, I didn't have any assistant coaches. And I guess the good news was nobody could say that somebody was playing their own kid too much or whatever because I didn't have a kid on the team. The bad news is the players figured out at practice if I do 6 stations that I can't actually watch 6 stations. And so this year we had some helpers that made that much better. So special thanks to Vahid, to Tim, and to Stephen Wild, who's not here, but they're very valuable at each of our practices that I think the players would agree. We did have 2 best-in-class stack guys. Aaron Carpenter did it the whole year, and then Arthur filled in this past weekend. I've done it on paper, not on an app like these modern guys, but you don't get to enjoy the game the same way. Now, for Grayson, your dad said it's good for you because he doesn't get to yell at you as much because he's busy. But thank you guys for doing that. It helps me as a coach. We did have a superstar film crew I'd like to thank with some magic film for us all to watch. I did send some of it to the guys I grew up with. And they go, geez, your team never misses. So, but special thanks to BJ, Sarisha, and our latest, who also does color commentating, Jen Dobbs.
I forgot there's volume with the picture. My bad. Thanks for editing that.
Also thanks to our Ladera Ranch activities directors, Jen and Tim. I think organized the bowling, and God bless Massimo and Renee for renting an extra room for 11 boys. But you guys had fun and nobody got into trouble, so it's all good. Our season-ending record was 43-12. I think we can be very proud of that. And we played 6 games against 7th and 8th grade teams. We went 2-4 in those games, so 4 of our 12 losses were against 7th and 8th grade teams. And you know, one of those teams we got a second shot at and beat them the second time. So. We played in 3 tournaments. We reached the championship in 2 of the 3. We won 1, but also played very well in the one we didn't win. And I've always said to you guys, if you play your best and you play great basketball, that's all I can ask. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Obviously we won. Again, with the help of people that keep stats, 8 different players were our leading scorer in at least one game. So not many teams can say that. And Tim can tell you when we coach, or Vahid, we'll go, look, you got to stop 8 and 22. Well, that's not true with our team. We also, for the season, had 8 different players average 5 points or more, and then a couple right at 4. So really, and we only average 48 as a team. So really, if you want to stop our team, there's no one guy you can stop. And different guys stepped up in different games with different matchups. So it's kind of cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, now.
Hey, you bet. Great season. Okay. Our next player to pay tribute to, I think he has the best Euro step move on the team. And most of you probably don't remember Kevin McHale, but he was a legendary player for the Boston Celtics, but he had a great fadeaway jumper. So in the last game this player played with us, back in January, he put 16 big points up. And when I took him out with 4 minutes left, he said, Coach, I've never got 20. Could I go back in? And usually if you say, can I go in? You're not going in. But he had 16. We put him back in. He did finish with 16, but I was so proud of him. In that same weekend, he helped us play great basketball against District Elite, and also played in the game that got us to play District Elite, where he had already played, I think, 2 games in Anaheim, drove all the way back, got there at halftime, and helped us make it happen. He always plays great defense and rebounds with authority. He averaged 6 a little better than 6 points a game, and shot 40% from the field. Unfortunately, with COVID quarantine, injuries, reset the injury, he only played in 11 of our games. But he really did bring a different dimension to our team that when he wasn't there, we weren't as good without him. And so, would love to have had him for 35 games instead of 11, but the 11 we had were very appreciative. He really did make a difference. And the values of the game that this player best represented, in my opinion, are work ethic, preparation, and teamwork. And did I mention he has a high basketball IQ? No, I did not, but he does. So let's hear it for number 42, Bennett Julian. And he's grown 2 inches since I saw him last. Congratulations. In my opinion, is our most improved player. He played in 17 of our games. He averaged 5 points per game. He shot a team high 45% from the field. He averaged 5.5 rebounds and rebounded with authority. And then he had a block shot per game that he played. In the AYBA Rec League, he was selected as an All-Star. And in the All-Star game, had 9 block shots. And the opposing coach turned to me at one point and said, he has more block shots than we have points. And I think it was true. He is athletic, tall, strong, and very coachable, and we can teach the rest. So very pleased with your progress. The values of the game that come to me when I think about Dominic are preparation, work ethic, and teamwork. His teammates love him. Of course, they do always say that he can dunk and go get the ball when it's stuck on the rim. Maybe next year. But his teammates love him. His coaches are very proud of him. Let's hear it from one of our 2 lefties, number 7, Dominic Fontenette. Are you taller than Dad yet?
No.
Congratulations on a great season.
Thanks.
It's kind of interesting because he was not on the travel team previously, and then he played as an alternate over the summer and worked his way to be selected to a core player this winter season. And I think he clearly made a successful transition to that role as a core player. And I've said this before to the team, is each level you move up, the physicality and the speed of the game is another level, and he adapted very well to it. He played in every game except one. He came to every practice except one. There's one other player that did that, but that's a high level of commitment. He finished 3rd on the team in rebounding. And we don't actually keep stats by the minute because Aaron and Arthur would go crazy if I asked for that. But if we did, I got a feeling he might be the leading rebounder per minute. Just a couple other guys played more minutes. But that was a very valuable role he played for our team. I think he thrives in our fast break, and some of you may know that that's my favorite offense, but I think it's their favorite offense too. And he does a number of things. He rebounds. At one point, he would rebound and panic pass. There's no more panic pass. He finds what he wants, and we get off to the races. He runs the floor exceptionally well, seals up. And if you come to one of our practices, you'll see why seals up is so important. And most don't like to do it because it's physical contact. But he does it, and what it means is either he's in a position to score or you put a teammate in a position to score easily. And the values of the game best demonstrated by this player for me include commitment, always there and always there early, teamwork, and work ethic. So please join me in congratulating number 34, Grayson Carpenter, on his distinction. Daniel Wilder's next, so we'll move on. Next player I'd like to pay tribute to, in my opinion, has a very high basketball IQ, always makes good decisions. He played in 21 of our games. He served as a zone buster, shooting nearly 30% from behind the three-point line. He scored in double figures in 5 of the 21 games he played in. In addition to his effective three-point shot, he made excellent use of the floater when attacking the basket. And there's a couple of our players that have that skill, but it's a really important skill. He played with defensive intensity, always stays low in his stance. Right, Greg? Low in your stance? This is a sharp group. They knew I wasn't talking about Greg. He denies dribble penetration, and he always plays excellent defense. One of our few players to use his voice. He needs to get a little louder so he's like me so you can hear it, but he does use it. And when he's on the bench, I hear him, but it's really the players that I need to hear it. So he's proved instrumental in our tournament championship win over the Santa Barbara Vipers. You know, they threw everything at us in that game. They threw a 2-3 zone, a 1-2-2 zone, man-to-man, a 1-2-2 press, a 2-2-1 press. And so there's a lot we had to prepare for. What was cool about that game is our team, I didn't have to use timeouts to say, hey, they're doing something different. You guys all figured it out. But frequently when we see the 1-2-2, I have Greg run the baseline because he's a good shooter and he's 5'10", so you can't block the shot. But in this game, I didn't call it out, but in practice, this player runs baseline because he's a good shooter, but he's a little short of 5'10". So you worry about him being able to get it off. But he ran the baseline and put up 3 threes, made 2 of the 3, and the Santa Barbara coach changed the defense. So among our smallest players with a big heart, a player who really knows the game of basketball, is a pleasure to coach. Number 2, Aiden Alden. Congratulations. So a couple people know what I'm talking about. But, so microwave is something you use with food to heat up quickly. But this player frequently came off the bench, heated up quickly, and ignited instant offense and a burst of energy for our team. And we frequently needed that at that point. On a team that prefers to be quiet, and hopefully we can change that going into next year, but where we actually talk, because there's no rule in basketball that says you can't talk to your teammates. But this player really gave us energy and passion and got our team fired up, and we needed somebody like that. He posted the highest free throw percentage on our team this season at 67%. He shot a high percentage from behind the arc. I think it was 2nd or 3rd on the team. Also shot very high percentage from the field. He averaged 5.5 points a game. So it was one of those 8 players that I mentioned as 5 or better. He mastered the jump stop. So we're not talking about Brett, but next year we're going to be telling you how Brett has mastered the jump stop. But this player really did, and other people could learn from that. And he also, and when I say jump stop, it's a jump stop, up fake and finish, and he did that very well. And then he uses the floater very, very effectively, like I said about Aiden, attacking the basket. His defense improved, however, it is still work in progress. Yet he was 2nd on our team in steals. In my opinion, this player demonstrated values of the game all season, but I'm going to focus on these 3: passion, communication, which this is a quiet group, so communication, and teamwork. So Please give it up for number 18, the microwave. Luca Ciabelli. The microwave. Great season. The person we're going to recognize and pay tribute to, in my opinion, was our best offensive player. He was our leading scorer with an average of 12 points a game. Against SoCal Elite last weekend in Ladera Ranch, he had 27 in that game. On February 19th against the Playmakers, which from Santa Clarita were a 7th to 8th grade team, he had 20. On February 6th against A-Game, he had 21. In our very first game of the season, he had 22. Now we played a second game that day. He only had 6 in the second game because his dad took him for bagels in between the games and showed up late. So 22 to 6. So, but anyway, I ran through 5 different games there where he had 20 points or more, and I think probably the best is yet to come. He shot 30% from behind the arc. He netted a team high of 38 made threes. He shot 44% from the field and 61% from the free throw line, which was second to Luca. He was second on our team in rebounding with 9 rebounds per game. And next year we're going to work on boxing out. He does it because he anticipates and he knows where the ball is going to be before anybody else, and then he gets there. And that's a unique skill. But we'll work on the boxing out so you'll have both ways to get the ball. This year was a transition year for this player. So in our press break, because he doesn't show any emotions, so when I say there should be never a panic pass in basketball because it's a game, I don't think he panics at anything. So he doesn't turn the ball over, and so he's a guy we want to get the ball to. So I think that's a good thing. Now, he did make his coach very uneasy during the season. It's tough for a coach to lose his leading scorer for 5 consecutive games, and there's no injury involved. So his sister had COVID, and then soccer, and then oysters and food poisoning, and then soccer. He's going to be there. He'll be there right at game time. Well, there was a minute left, but we won the game. So when he was there, he was fantastic, but he did make his coach a little uneasy a few times, or his dad made the coach uneasy. I should say that. Anyway, in mid-January, because he had played up on what is now the 8th grade team, so this was a new team for him this year. I didn't think we had seen his best, so I just used this phrase with him. I said, "Dare to be great." And he did. So we just celebrated our best offensive player. Now it's time to celebrate our best defensive player, at least in my opinion. So this player typically guarded the best player on our opponent's team pretty much every game. Cameron did get some turns at that and did a very good job. This player's a little longer than Cameron, so helps us that way. This player also played in 34 out of 35 games. Also only missed 1 practice the entire season. By the way, the coach didn't miss any, but he was our 4th leading scorer at 7 points a game, and started the season with a broken finger, so his scoring got better and better and better as the season went on. He shot a team high 35% from 3, and as a coach, if you get to 33, because you get 3 points and not 2 points, I'm pretty good with that. So he exceeded this at 35%, and that's despite the broken finger to start the season. He was second in our team in block shots, and fourth in total rebounds. And he learned this season that if you block a shot, you can't go, oh! I said, what's the technical for? This is number 24. I go, 24? But this past season was also a transition year to some extent for Shrikar, because he's a tall player. I think a lot of his previous seasons was on the low block, and he did do some of that for this year, for us this year. But we transitioned most of his minutes to the perimeter, and I thought he did a great job with that transition. So his footwork in the paint is still phenomenal. So don't ever lose that. In fact, I'll tell people I think the best post player that ever played, Tim won't agree, is Michael Jordan, and he's a guard. Tim will tell you, Kareem, and he's not necessarily wrong, but
What?
okay. But the reason I share that is you don't have to have be a post player to have a great post game, because you can just post somebody out. Anyway, the values of the game that come to mind when I think about Shrikar are clearly work ethic. His commitment is terrific, and just like all of our teamwork. So please help me congratulate number 24, our best defensive player, Shrikar Patmore. Great season, thanks. Team better. He always plays with total passion and leaves it all out on the floor. He led our team in rebounds with 9.4 per game, and like I said, Grayson may have led us per minute, but this player gets more minutes. He was our third leading scorer at 7.9 per game. He shot 40% from the field, and he's only going to get better there. He led our team in assists, and not many bigs lead their team in assists. He did, and pretty much the whole season. He also led our team in block shots, and he was second in steals. He frequently was asked to guard the best big on the other team, and sometimes that was an 8th grader, which in one case the 8th grader kind of torched him the first time, and I kept saying, I'm telling you he's going to go left. And we got another shot at him, and he did such a much better job the next time, which tells you how coachable he is. He played both in the paint and on the perimeter, making him very versatile. Primarily this season was in the paint, but I'm thinking next year would like him to transition a little bit more to the perimeter. He did both this year. And so he really did an awful lot of good things for our team. And the values of the game that come to mind for this player are work ethic. He works very hard. His passion is terrific, both in practice and in the game. And teamwork, just like all of his teammates. Please join me in congratulating our best all-around player, number 11, Brett Dada. Great season. We're going to honor tonight and celebrate is one who always gave 100% effort for his coaches and his teammates. He played in 8 of our travel team games and played well. When you look at the stats, it'll say 9, but one of them was 16 seconds, so I only counted as 8. The 16 seconds doesn't count. So I think he has the fastest and most explosive first step on the entire team. So the word explosive comes to mind when I think of this player. He helped his Bulls team in the rec league to the Final Four. And they're really the only team, well, Cal's team had a shot to beat the Wild family team as well, because they went undefeated and won the championship. But in the Final Four, the score was tied. I believe it was 27-27, under a minute left, and then Devin Wild scored, and then you guys had to foul and lost by 3. But you guys were right there until the final minute, and it would have been a heck of an accomplishment. And Miles' team was good, a lot because of him. There was a couple other good players on that team, but the other team was really good. So I thought you made a heck of an impact. He improved his defense during the season, and any of the players that played on two teams, it could be the Raptors and our team, or it could be the rec league and our team. It's a difficult thing, so if I coached Miles in the rec league, I would tell him, because he's so quick, get up in their face and go steal the ball. But my philosophy at this level is we want to deny dribble penetration. So early in the season, that was difficult for him because in the other league, what he did was perfectly fine, and I'm telling him don't do it. But he learned that and got better. I think his attacks to the basket in all formats are good. He's probably a little bit predominant right-handed, but I have something for you where you're going to make the left hand just as good. Because the speed doesn't change, it's just the skill set. And his shooting improved during the season. I asked him if he worked on it, and the answer was yes. And the form, his coach Ricky in the rec league, who I have great respect for, helped him change that and got better as the season went along. He was also selected to the All-Star team in the rec league. And then in the championship game for our team, he scored late in the game, and the whole team went crazy. So your teammates love you. And the values of the game best demonstrated by this player, in my opinion, are respect and sportsmanship, commitment, and teamwork. And I'll close by saying his teammates and coaches love him. Congratulations on a terrific season, both with the Bulls and with our team. Number 28, Miles Meyer. Thank you. What'd you do here?
Get started.
Great season.
Get started.
Get sturdy.